Hey, thanks for clicking on this video. Welcome to Brian's Funhouse. Thanks for all your likes, comments, and subs. Today we're going to go back, a little time machine, back to the year 1979. Woo! Maybe some of you remember it, maybe some of you don't, but let's talk about 10 great records from 1979 that I have here in the Funhouse. But let's set the mood of 1979. Here in the United States, our president was Jimmy Carter. Probably not the best president, but hands down probably the best person that ever served as our president. A great human being up until the end. Britain had Margaret Thatcher as their leader. The big news was United States was kind of rooting for the other guy, but the Ayatollah Khomeini in Iran, he used to be on the front page. We had stickers and shirts, so much hatred from the U.S. towards the Ayatollah Khomeini there. But he won and instantly kind of took some American hostage, I believe 66. Some were released early on, about 13 of them soon after, but then the rest wouldn't be released until Ronald Reagan took office in 81. That was a big thing. Soviets Union invaded Afghanistan in 1979. That was big news. Here in the United States, in Pennsylvania, 3 Mile Island happened. It was a partial nuclear meltdown. But yeah, that happened at 3 Mile Island. Was a big news story in 1979. Let's go through the top 5 biggest movies of 1979. Now, I was 8. I turned 8 in March of 79. I was in 2nd grade. More about my 2nd grade experience in a bit. But the 5th biggest movie I didn't see until later on. I was just 8-year-old kid, so it wasn't appropriate for me to see then. But the 5th biggest movie is a movie I love to this day, man. At Popflix Now, got the soundtrack for that one. The 4th movie, I did have the soundtrack, but I sold it in a great purge. Star Trek Motion Picture was the 4th biggest movie, 1979. The 3rd biggest movie, man, I love this franchise like crazy, or at least the early part of the franchise. Rocky 2 came out in 79. I remember seeing Rocky 1 with my parents in the theater, and it was featured with You Light Up My Life, of all movies. 2nd biggest movie was a movie that I would later see on TV. I'd be scared. I don't like scary movies, and this one really freaked me out as a kid. Later learned that the original murder in the house was real, but that the people moving in and freaking out and all that, they determined all that a hoax. So what you saw in the movie was pretty much a hoax for people trying to get attention to sell a book. Talk about the Amityville Horror. 2nd biggest movie of 1979. People wanted to be scared. Number 1 movie of 1979, which is actually released in late 78, was Superman the movie. How cool. I know they're doing yet another remake of a Superman. So many versions, but man, nothing will beat the old Clark Kent in the original Superman the movie. And what was his name? Christopher Reeve. Thank you, internet on my phone that we all have handy that we can learn information from. Christopher Reeve. Yeah. And didn't he fall off a horse and was in a wheelchair? Sad. But he was Superman, original Superman. The top record of 1979, which was actually released in 78. Everyone was loving them. Some Billy Joel, 52nd Street. This was a big record. Why? He had Big Shot. You had My Life. Oh, good stuff on this. I've never seen one of these big stars I've never seen in concert. And I think he still plays like New York all the time, every once in a while, whatever. The big toys, Atari. Atari was happening in 1979. The early Atari consoles. People were in 79 playing with their Kiss toys, like me. My big Mego Kiss dolls. Released in summer 78, but all through 79. If you were a kid like me, 2nd grade, you were playing with your Kiss toys. Also your Star Wars action figures. So yeah. Another big song that was released in 78 that was played all through 1979 was Macho Man by the Village People. And it was huge. You couldn't escape it. YMCA, the Macho Man. Oh my lord, this was huge stuff. Now 79 was kind of the tail end of the disco years. A few years we had with that. It's fun music looking back on it, you know. And rock and roll was going to kick in. Of course, MTV would soon change it to more new wave, but I digress. Macho Man. Why is this important? Well, here, let me throw up. This is me in 2nd grade. 2nd grade was the only year that I went to a Christian school. My parents soon learned that maybe a Christian school and me wasn't a good mix, so it was back to the public school system. Yeah, so we had a talent show in the spring of 79. And this is probably considered insensitive now, but I was a Indian from the Village People. You would say Native American now, and you probably wouldn't want a little white kid dressing up as one anymore. But this was different. It's 1979, man. And this was the talent show, and I got 4 of my friends. or actually 5 of my friends maybe. I don't know if we were all the village people, but I was the Indian, and here's some pictures here. And the reason why I bring this up is what a talent show it was. But I also have the pictures here. This picture here, I'll show you a good close-up. I remember being spoken to after the talent show with my parents there. They didn't appreciate the thrusting gyrations. I mean, in 2nd grade, I don't know what I was doing. The little hips moving and the thrusting gyrations. So yeah, that would just lead to the road of just not being a big fan of the whole Christian school. There was a Catholic school, St. Domitilla in Hillside, Illinois. I also got spanked by an old nun. Apparently I walked too slow back to class from the library, and you got spanked. That's the way it was back then, people. You got spanked. Taught me to be an outstanding person I am today. Thanks for the spanking, you old nun. 1979, I was not into punk rock yet. I may have heard of the Sex Pistols. I don't know. Sex would have been a crazy word that I know, but associated with that word or saying that word, I'll get in trouble. I'm freaking 8. But Stiff Little Fingers, Inflammable Material. Oh, such a great record. Suspect Device. Are you kidding? Wasted Life. Oh, good stuff here. Love this record. I would have grown to appreciate it later. And of course, the classic, iconic London The Clash. Great punk rock record. Released in 79, but like I said, your little Brian's Funhouse was not into punk rock yet. I was listening to MET and The Loop, 2 rock stations here in Chicago. Even in 2nd grade, I loved rock. I didn't take long that rock was going to be my music that I was going to listen to. You know, if I was in the car with my parents, maybe country or soft rock, but as soon as I discovered bands like Rush, AC/DC, Kiss, Cheap Trick, forget it. Alright, let's go through the top 10 records Brian's Funhouse says for 1979. And of course, all around me, you know, you got Pat Benatar, you got Foreigner, you got Van Halen and Scorp's Love Drive with the good cover on it. Excuse me, I got some bubblegum on your boobies cover. How does that happen? I don't know. I've experienced a lot in life, but I can't remember a time that I was chewing bubblegum. And in a limo, especially in the back seat, and like, oh, sorry, got that all over your boobie, didn't I? Let me just, whatever, I digress. Number 10, Journey, Evolution, their 5th album, released March 23rd, 1979. This was when you still had Greg Rowley and the new guy, Steve Perry, blasting out the vocals. Too Late is a great one. Lovin', Touchin', Squeezin', kind of burnt out on one. I've heard that one a lot. Just the Same Way You Love Me. Oh man, Just the Same Way You Love Me. That was a classic rock staple. But yeah, Journey Evolution would be my number 10 pick for a record that came out in 1979. Journey Evolution. Number 9. Oh, this was a good one. This was their 2nd album, released in June 1979. Talking about the band The Cars. Now, were they from Baltimore or Boston? I want to say Baltimore. Internet, check it out. Boston. Sorry, Baltimore. I almost thought you had something cool going on. But Baltimore is a weird place. Been there a few times. Every time, weird. Boston boys, The Cars. Oh, Let's Go. Since I Held You. It's All I Can Do. It's one of the most cool keyboard sounds in a song. Just complements the song so nice. Candy-O. Night Spots. You Can't Hold On for Too Long just for kicks. Got a lot on my mind. So yeah, I didn't have like hit after hit after hit like their freaking debut was amazing, but still a strong record through and through by Rick Ocasek and the boys. Benjamin Orr. Oh yeah. Candy-O by The Cars, number 9 for 1979. Number 8 for 1979. This guy I listened to a lot, and I made a video with bands that I loved at one point, and now I'm like, eh. And sorry, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I loved you guys so much in the beginning. You just lost me. Free Falling and all that stuff, that lost me big time. I just couldn't feel the rock anymore. But anyway, Tom Petty, this was his 3rd record. Damn the Torpedoes came out in October 1979. Why is this on my list? Refugee, Here Comes My Girl. I love that one. Even the losers get lucky sometime. What a great song. Don't Do Me Like That. Don't do me like that. Girl, I won't you, baby. You don't do me like that. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, man. Oh, good stuff. Refugee actually was the first video I ever saw on MTV, probably around 83. Number 7 is from one of my favorite bands, but I can't put it first or second because honestly, there's stuff I listen to more and I think is way better. But it's a great record. It's their second one. A lot of people forget that they have a second one because they always know the first one and they always know Freedom of Choice, but they always forget about this. Duty Now from Devo, 1979. Like I said, their second record. Duty Now. Got the Corporate Anthem, Wiggly World, great song, Strange Pursuit, Swell and Itchy Brain, The Day My Baby Gave Me a Surprise, that was like the single, I have the 45 for that one, Pink Pussycat, Secret Agent Man, they do a great version of that, Smart Patrol, Mr. DNA, oh, are you kidding me? This is a great one. If you love Devo, and for some reason you just have the first record and the third record, because you're just like casual fan of Devo, do yourself a favor, man, get Duty Now for the Future, their second record from 1979. This is an alternative cover version of it, because that's how cool I am. That's how much I am into Devo. Alright, so that was number 7. Number 6, I also have on 8-track, besides this off-Broadway 8-track, which came out in 1979. 1970, man, those were good times. I wish I could go back, because I don't remember a lot, because I was freaking 8. You don't remember a lot when you're 8. But I do remember being spoken to after that talent show. Styx Cornerstone is number 6 for 1979. Let's pull out the vinyl of that. So yeah, now again, it's kind of like the Cars one, where it's not chock full of hits per se, but it was a great record. And we'll look at the 8-track here. What we got? We got Lights, Why Me, Boat on the River. I think they started playing that live again too. Babe, of course, Babe is a huge one. Lovin' in Midnight, but yeah, Styx, a solid release. Of course, growing up just outside the city of Chicago, classic rock, or rock radio rather, around here was heavy with Styx, and also REO, Speedwagon, because they were an Illinois band, but Styx more so, because we were so proud of the Chicago boys. Styx also played a lot of Chicago on Chicago rock radio. Who would have thought of that? Number 5. Man, I went to my brother's house, one of my older brothers, and he had this, and I remember spinning it, and just the vocals were soaring. They sit above the mix in high pitch, and it was like rock and pop, but yet a little different, and it just stuck with me. Number 5, of course, Supertramp, Breakfast in America, released. This was their 6th album, released in March 1979. Breakfast in America. I tell you, this was a great one too. The Logical song, Goodbye Stranger. They use that in I, Tonya, which is a great movie. I, Tonya soundtrack at a perfect time. They're skating around. Goodbye Stranger is a great one. Breakfast in America, the song itself is great. Take the Long Way Home. That was always on rock radio as well. Just good stuff. Child of Vision closes it off. But just, yeah, this was when you listened to a whole record. You weren't picking up the little needle. Every song, you just played it. Good times, 1979. And I'll tell you, my 5th favorite record, Supertramp, Breakfast in America. Let's go for number 4, hitting the big boys, hitting the heavy hitters. One of my favorite bands. My friend who lived across the street and down the block, Scott, was into AC/DC and Led Zeppelin. So I got into AC/DC and Led Zeppelin because you always got into what your friends got into. And he was a few years older than me. So obviously he was cooler than me because he was older. And yeah, 8-year-old kid. This comes out. I don't know. I may have just heard a lot of these songs. For all of my love, for sure, heard that tons on radio. I may have not actually owned this for quite some time after 79, but I know I listened to it, and throughout the years, of course, has to make this list. Almost ashamed that I didn't bring out my well-played copy, but I wanted to be able to see the cover and all. So yeah, I do have the Walmart copy. Poser, sell out. Sorry, I have the Walmart copy. Led Zeppelin, In Through the Outdoor, of course, In the Evening. Oh, I love how that starts out. Fool in the Rain, Hot Dog. I used to listen to Hot Dog and just go, what were they thinking? But it's such a damn fun song. Carousel Lambra. Actually, great Led Zeppelin song, man. It is weird and stuff, and it's got the keyboard, but it is good. All My Love, of course, where he talks about the symbols of the band. Yeah. In Through the Outdoor, Led Zeppelin, number 4 for me for 1979. What's 3? I'll tell you right now. But isn't this one of your favorite bands? Yes. Rush, Cheap Trick, sit right up there. But I'll tell you, I had to place this 3rd because, you know, when you hear those first 2, you're going to be like, yeah, okay. Dream Police by Cheap Trick. This was their 4th record. Came out in September of 79. And in August of 81, just shy of 2 years after this, I would go see them as my first rock concert in Chicago Fest, 1981 Cheap Trick. This has on it what I consider the best pop rock and roll song you'll ever want to hear, and that's Way of the World, which is the second track of this. Perfect rock song. Wish I wrote it, but I didn't. I was 8. Dream Police, Way of the World, The House is Rockin', Gonna Raise Hell, that was slow burn one. I'll Be With You Tonight, nice one. Voices, Robin Zander showing off those golden pipes on that one. Writing on the Wall, I Know What I Want, and Need Your Love. But yeah, Tom Peterson with I Know What You Want, vocals there, good stuff. Look at the concept. This is when the bands cared about a vinyl record. They wanted you to listen to all the tracks. They wanted you to open it up. They wanted you to stare at the pictures. They wanted you to appreciate the artwork and everything inside here, the liner notes. They wanted this to be an experience. And man, oh man, kids today, you don't know. Yeah, there's a vinyl resurgence and all that stuff, but the majority of you are just streaming stuff. You will never know the feeling of buying a record, open it up in 1979. I was using my parents' big turntables as part of a console, and you had to weigh out how much you really wanted to play that record because it wasn't grounded, and you picked up that needle, and as soon as you turned the volume or speaker A-B thing, you were getting shocked no matter what. My dad was an electrician. We still couldn't figure it out. You were getting shocked by that console every time, but it was, no pain no gain is what they say. And yeah, Cheap Trick, Dream Police, 1979 came out, and it is my third favorite record, probably one of my favorite record covers of all time. And it's just good stuff, man. These guys are amazing, amazing release. Dream Please. Number 2. I'm gonna go see this band a week from tomorrow. Talk about AC/DC, Highway to Hell. This is their 6th release. My personal second favorite from them. My favorite from them is Porridge, as you may know if you watch this channel. But the 6th release from them, The Last, with the great Bon Scott. We all love Brian Johnson, of course. But man, Bon Scott era AC/DC, oh, there'll never be nothing like it. Well, how about Guns N' Roses? No, Guns N' Roses wasn't like Bon Scott era AC/DC. It was special and unique. And this is Highway to Hell. Yeah, the song may have been cheesed down a little bit because everyone you play it at like, sporting events now, and it doesn't really hold that evilness with the word hell anymore. But at 1979, you're picking this record cover up, holy cow, you're one of the chosen evil people. This is Highway to Hell by AC/DC, man. This isn't for the common person. Angus Young has a devil tail. What the hell? Bon Scott is wearing a little star there. Whoa, these guys are evil. My man Phil Rudd, Malcolm, rest in peace, Malcolm. Cliff Williams, who's no longer in the band. What a lineup, man. And let's just go through the track listing. Highway to Hell starts the album out. Kimmy. Girls Got Rhythm. Walk All Over You. I remember I learned to play the drums to this album probably around 81, 82. So yeah, the album was a few years old, and I would just play this over and over. And this is how I learned beats. And, there's simple drum fills on this. I self-taught myself drums just listening to this record over and over. And, yeah, Walk All Over You with the drum fills. Touch Too Much. Beating Around the Bush. Shot Down in Flames. Get It Hot. A little upbeat thing. If You Want Blood, You Got It. Which is later title of the live album. But Love Hungry Man. Slow Jamming It Out. And Night Prowlers. Oh, man. It just ends perfectly. Look at the boys there. 1979. And some of them are still going strong. They're not all with us, but some of them still going strong. So yeah, number 2, AC/DC, Highway to Hell. What could beat that? Cheap Trick and AC/DC? What is better than that? It's not really much a contest what's better, but to influence me back then, not so much into this band. I don't play them a lot nowadays, but back then, holy moly. The movie comes out a few years after in 82, but the album... I think maybe one of my brothers had it. I mean, rock radio was playing Another Brick on the Wall a lot, Comfortably Numb a lot, Run Like Hell a lot. So you can hear a good selection of The Wall with just listening to rock radio at the time. But I'm talking about Pink Floyd, The Wall, their 11th album at the time. Holy cow, came out in November. Like I said, the film would come out in 82. Pink Floyd, The Wall, little hype sticker still on it there. And again, you talk about an experience, even without the movie. You just open this up and you're being taken for a journey there. And I really like, I suck at like remembering things all the time, but I'm just going to look at the track listing because I really like a lot of the the non-hits. Although I will say, I might do a video on the greatest guitar solos of all time. I mean, just a guitar solo that epically helps the song along or becomes part of the song. You know, like Crazy Train for Mr. Randy Rhoads adding to solo Crazy Train. It becomes just part of the song. It becomes what you sing. Comfortably Numb, the guitar solo by David Gilmour. It came in as part of, like, it should be in the Smithsonian for crying out loud. Another Brick on the Wall. You know, all those Another Brick on the Wall versions or songs were good, but to me, I like Goodbye Blue Sky. I like that one a lot. Mother, love Mother. The Thin Ice. I love The Thin Ice. So yeah, I'm liking all the tracks that you may not hear on radio too much. Run Like Hell, of course, was fun. And if you watch the movie Run Like Hell, I think you get to see that song in the movie The Wall. I think that's when the nudity happens. Which, when you're a little boy, you're like, holy cow, nudity. That was Jenny Wright, I believe. I believe she later was in The Lawnmower Man. She was one of the groupies in the Pink Floyd The Wall. It's beautiful, Jenny Wright. Maybe I'll throw a picture of her to remind you. But yeah, so there you go. Pink Floyd The Wall, #1 of my rock records of 1979. What a year. Let me know in the comments below if you remember anything from 1979, if you got spoken to, if you did a risque performance in your talent show, and of course, what some of your favorite records were from 1979. All right, thanks for watching.